I think the bottom's getting ready to fall out of the sky here in a few minutes. So, until that happened, I figured I'd sit here and talk to you guys for a few minutes. Maybe answer some questions. Somebody was asking me about Roger the other day. And I guess it has been a while since I told you guys where he came from. So, what's up, Ace? About 30 years ago, I was playing in the front yard with a German Shepherd puppy that I had just gotten. And this guy pulled in the driveway and he's sitting there staring at me. I finally walked over and said, you need something? And he said, no, I was just looking at your dog. She's beautiful. And I thanked him and we got to talking, and turns out he was a dog handler for a local search and rescue group here in the area. So, one thing led to another. A few years later, I was right there beside him, training German Shepherds for search and rescue. He was a great guy. He had a great family. He was a mentor to me, both in search and rescue and learning basically how to train dogs on a much higher level. A few years later, my daughter was born, and when my wife was getting ready to go back to work, we started looking around for someplace to take my daughter during the day. And my buddy said, well, his wife watched kids out of their home. And I figured that was perfect. Who better to trust with my daughter than, the guy I trusted with my life. So we started taking her up to his house every day. And she went there for, 4 or 5 years, 5, 6 years maybe. Until she started, preschool or kindergarten or whatever it is. But about 2 years ago, I guess about 3 years ago now, this guy, my buddy, calls me up and he says, hey man, one of the girls is getting married. We're going to have the wedding here at the house. He said, but I got to do something with this goat. And I just sat there with the phone in my hand thinking, okay, what's the punchline? I didn't want a goat, There was no way in hell I was going to take a goat. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't have any place for a goat. I didn't want one. So I'm sitting there on the phone talking to my buddy, and he's telling me about the wedding. While he's talking, I'm thinking about all the times that we had dropped off Megan at his house in the morning before going to work, and she'd been up all night, and she was cranky and, just raising hell, and just not a good day for her. It was just one of those days where it wasn't really going to be a good day for us either. We had to be there. We had to leave. And, his wife would hold her arms out and take her and say, go on, I got this. When a guy like that calls you up, says, hey man, I need a favor, you wind up with the goat. For a goat, he's not a bad goat. I'm so ready for spring. I want to see leaves on the trees. grass growing. Let's see, what else? Some of the other questions. Oh, somebody was asking me about predators. You know, whether or not we have any wolves here. We don't have any wolves. We've got coyotes. We've only seen them a few times, but you can hear them quite often. But, you know, one or two coyotes against Hamish or Kylo, you know, I don't give them much chance. You know, I'd be a lot more concerned about Roger if the coyotes were closer. No, actually, with Roger and the pigs, I'm much more worried about neighborhood dogs than I am a coyote coming down here and getting them. You know, right now the coyotes are still human shy. You know, they're a little more wary of people than a dog is. And a dog's not going to have much of a hesitation to come into the yard and start yanking at a pig or, you know, goat that he can catch off guard or something like that. So, as far as predators, your average neighborhood dog is about the biggest one around.